Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is TSLB3293 from TSLB June 2022, Task 2. And I'm going to present on Task 2, TSLB3293, Children and Languages. So without further ado, I shall proceed with my presentation on the graphic organizer on the positive impact of bilingualism and multilingualism in language learning. So these are the contents that I am going to talk about, and in this presentation I will talk about the points included for the introduction, paragraph 1 on cognitive development, paragraph 2 on motivation, paragraph 3 input hypothesis, paragraph 4 language transfer, paragraph 5 monitor hypothesis, and also conclusion. In the introduction points, I have created the thesis statement, which is this essay will discuss in depth about bilingualism and multilingualism, have influences on language learning in terms of cognitive development, motivation, input hypothesis on language learning, language transfer, and monitor hypothesis. And also points for the introduction, I have included the definition of bilingualism and multilingualism, which is bilingualism is people who can speak two different languages, while multilingual are people who can speak multiple language. And the number of bilingual and multilingual people are approximately 33 billion people. I have included the facts to support the points for introduction. And the percentage I have given for bilingual is 43% and multilingual 17%. And so this shows that bilingualism and multilingualism have affect the language learning, and this is because of the exposure to language learning that allows them to easily achieve fluency in language learning for for certain aspects. Okay, now let's look at the paragraph 1 under cognitive development. We can see here the topic sentence I have provided, which is the cognitive development of multilingual and bilinguals give an impact on language learning. Now let's look at the points and elaboration. So for the first point under cognitive development is mental skills or thinking skills. So the first point is about cognitive development through the interaction of the bilingual and multilingual peoples. So this is because through interaction it linked with your cognitive skills, which can help bilingual and multilingual peoples to gain a smoother learning flow. And the next point is about multilingual and bilingual have broader or wider knowledge about the language they learn, which learners have the benefits from certain aspects of socio-cognitive development. This is due to their ability to solve problems and also entertain two possible interpretations at the same time. For example, the visual-spatial memory, which is the ability to remember patterns and recall information, which multilingual and bilinguals have that, and it can also help them to adapt information quickly when learning something new, which is in this case about language learning. To summarize this point is learners who can speak multiple language have good cognitive skills such as improve in memory and better in problem solving and high thinking, all these skills, and also better in communication. So therefore the language learning process will be easier for bilingual and multilingual speakers. So let's look at the paragraph 2 on motivation. So also the topic sentence here is, in addition, the motivation of bilinguals and multilinguals has influenced language learning in class. And for points and elaboration, the first point is about boost in confidence and self-esteem. For this point, we can see that it is related to the theory of second language acquisition by Stephen Krashen, which talks about affective filter hypothesis. So this talks about bilinguals they will have the advantage of understanding the learning much faster because of the higher motivation, which they can understand the language learning much faster. And also bilingual and multilingual people, they have experience in exposure of learning different language, which makes it easy for them to do language learning in other language. So they can also have the feeling of eagerness to learn other language as well. Then for motivation point to conclude is that the learning process will become easier and enjoyable when students have the confidence and the motivation. Now, the third point is about input hypothesis. So the topic sentence here is, moreover, bilingualism and multilingualism has impact to do language learning in terms of input hypothesis. And the points here is about improve in a natural way when we receive language learning input, which is a step further than the current stage of competency in linguistics, which means that bilinguals and multilinguals who already have the basic or the prior knowledge, they are at the stage of input, which is they already have the prior knowledge. And when they have learn new language in language learning, they're able to add more, strengthen their language learning by adding more input, which then reaches to I+1. So we can understand that bilingual and multilingual students have the ability to add to make the learning much smoother, and they can also add more knowledge to strengthen their basic knowledge that they already have. And next one is on paragraph 4, which is language transfer. Again, the topic sentence is, furthermore, bilingualism and multilingualism learners have also affected language learning in terms of language transfer. So for the points and elaboration here, the first one is bilingualism and multilingualism. They can apply knowledge from one language to another language. For example, the first language, for example, like the Chinese student can use the language transfer to help him or her in making sentence. So this student can use the first language to help them to guide in making in the process of making the sentence for the new language by transferring the language from language 1 to language 2. And then they can also use their prior information to assist with language learning in the classroom, which means that they know how to construct the sentence by using the first knowledge, the first language, the native language they have, and they will use that to assist them in making the sentence for new language. And also it increases the efficiency of teaching and learning in language learning for bilingual and multilingual. So when they're able to use this method, language transfer, it can help to increase the efficiency and also fluency in learning a new language. And also by using this method, it can also give bilinguals and multilinguals a person can have clearer understanding on how on the concept of learning a language. Okay. And then paragraph 5 on monitor hypothesis. So the topic sentence is, other than that, monitor hypothesis is also give an impact to bilingualism and multilingualism in language learning. And 4 points, change the fluency in speaking the language either with peers or teachers can still be in a correct manner and can avoid grammatical errors. So this is because bilingual and multilingual learners, they can use their monitor hypothesis to guide and also to assist them when they're speaking, when they're learning the new language, which means that this way they can use the language in correct manner, and also they can also avoid grammatical errors because they know the grammatical rule that they should apply when they communicate or when they learn in class. And also they have the knowledge and they can be alert when using the correct language when communicate or learning language in class, just like I've explained just now. And for the conclusion here, so conclusion is the part where it summarizes all part and also it gives the I would say briefly the summary about the points, the impacts, the positive impacts of bilingualism and multilingualism in language learning. So these are the benefits. The first one is that it gives multilingualism and bilingualism give benefit in learning language more easily and quickly. And bilingual and multilingual students have strengths and skills that promote language learning at school. It can also supplement the existing knowledge with new information to improve language learning, which means that it can strengthen their knowledge, their existing knowledge, the prior knowledge, by adding more knowledge. And also, last but not least, it helps to understand better when learning language in class. And last but not least is it helps them to understand better when learning language in class, which means that they can have easier way, a better way to learn the new language, and it can also help them to understand better when they learn language in class. So all of these points in the graphic organizer can help to make the outline and also be the guideline to create the essay, and it is much clearer and it can help us to see the points precisely. So I think that is all from me. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I'm sorry for all the inconvenience. Thank you so much. Bye.